Hi, welcome to my channel, Gigi's Altered Objects. This is part 4 of our Life is a Kaleidoscope using graphic 45 papers. Today we're going to make the 2 pages that will face each other and go here and here. The pages are quite alike. The tops are created to look like doors that are going to open up into the Magic Kingdom. So in order to make the video shorter, I have made let's see. I've made the right side of the paper for you, and we're going to do the left side together. So I'm going to show you how this opens. So here on this side, we have the door knocker and some metal filigree corners. It closes with a magnet, opens up. We have a pocket here, an envelope that I made using this cool little tool. This is something else I got from the Tall Mouse that also makes the magnets. There's also a little die cut that I have that will make envelopes. This one I got from Wish, and it's quite fancy, quite lacy. Another way I make my envelopes is this wonderful tool from We Are Memory Keepers, and it has everything on it, so you can't lose the different sizes. It tells you what size paper to cut for what size envelope, and you can even make a 3D box, and everything is right here all together. And so this works for a gazillion different size envelopes. All right, but there's also one that comes in the pockets and envelopes that we're going to use for the other side. And then I just have a little card. This is one that I cut keeping the frame that we're going to use later, so I just cut that out with my X-Acto knife. There's also a little tag I made with my tag punch, and one of the smaller cards from the 8x8 tucked in there. And on this side, we have a magnet. These 2 elephants, you'll fussy cut from the 12x12 paper. Of course, whatever you do, you're going to need it twice of it, 2 times. So you'll cut 2 of the purple and 2 of the orange. And then I just used my 2-inch circle punch to put those together, and the magnet's hidden there. You'll need 2 of the large cards, and these you get 2 ways. There are 2 pages that you can cut them out of the 12x12 paper, and there are also 2 of each in the actual card pack that comes with the smaller and larger cards. And then you close this up, and it opens this way with these tags were made with the graphic 45, and this one is the square tag and metal dies. So I used the square. These are actually, the die cuts are used to cover up the black square tags that you get from graphic 45, but I decided to use them as mats, as photo mats. And then I added one of the little sayings here and tucked a little tag behind it. And this elephant was cut, it's smaller than the others, you can see. It was cut from the 8x8 paper. And I also, at the top, used one of the tags from the tag collection, the envelope and tag collection. All right, so recapping, you can use any die cut that you want, or you can just cut out a square mat for these. You can round the corners, however you want to make your photo mats. So again, you're going to need 4 of the small cards, you're going to need the saying, better together. And you can find this in both the 8x8 or the 12x12 that comes out of that paper. These envelopes I did cover, elephants, sorry, I did cover with glossy accents. And then you can hand cut circles, use your punch, you can put squares if you like. I'm going to show you how we're going to do those magnets in just a minute. Sorry. These little flowers I cut off of the top of a card. And then there are two of the elephants from the 8x8 paper. From the Tim Holtz metallic jewels, I cut a total of 4 tags. You'll need one of the larger tags, again, one of the larger cards. This one comes from the card collection, you can tell by the back. I cut one out, fussy cut it, we used it earlier for a pocket. So this one comes from the card pack. All right, from this paper, and this is 12x12, you're going to need 2 6x6 pieces. You're going to need, this is also from the 12x12, so it looks like this orange on one side and this on the other side. You're going to need a total of 4 of those. And then from this same paper, and I'll go through these each one again, but you're going to cut a square, a 4x4 inch square, and then you're going to either with a ruler and an X-Acto knife cut a straight line, or I just set this on my paper cutter and I set the square so that these 2 corners were lined up on my paper cutter and cut it so I had a triangle. So that's going to create 2 triangle pockets, one for each side, okay? You're going to need also 4 of these, and we're going to use each side. We're going to kind of make them mirror each other. And then from the other piece of paper, you're going to need 4 photo mats, however you choose to make them. Also, from the card, from the tag and envelopes, I'm using this little envelope for this side. This side says, find joy in your journey. And there's a little card that fits inside with a little envelope, and a little elephant, I keep saying envelope, and it says fantastic on it. All right, so we're going to begin by building our black sheets. So for this part, I used a 12x12 piece of paper, and I showed you how to extend them already. You can barely see that I've extended it right there. So just to recap, cut a 12x12 piece of paper with 6.5 inches wide. You're going to fold it at the 6.5 inch mark, and then you're going to add a little 1 inch piece at the bottom to make sure that this side also equals 6.5 inches so that it closed up nicely. You can see it better on this side, but I'm going to use that as the bottom. All right, and then you're going to need a 1 inch piece of paper that's 6.5 by 6.5. You're going to score it at the 1/2 inch line and make sure that you fold it and crease it with your bone folder. And then you're going to, that is going to serve as your, my parent has stole my both, there it is. This is going to act as your hinge. You're going to need another 6.5 by 6.5 inch piece of paper. So we're going to start by attaching that. So I want this piece, I have to work upside down for you. So this is going to be the left side. So we're going to want it to open this way. So they're going to be facing each other like this, and it's going to open this way. And this is closed with a magnet, so it's think I checked that. I'm going to lead you astray. Okay, so I'm wrong. This is the right side. Okay, so we're going to attach a piece of our tape, or scoring tape right there. Smooth it with the bone folder. Remember, we're doing this so that it sticks immediately, but on moving parts, we want to make sure that we have some liquid glue. So above and below the score tape, we're going to put some dots of whatever good liquid glue you're using. And then, okay, so this one is going to open. I'm going to have to do it facing me, sorry. This side. This one is going to go this way and this way, correct? No. Okay. All right, so we're going to put this at the top. I wanted to use this as the back piece, but that's okay. Everything is always fixable. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little arrow just so I don't mess up. This is the back. A little X marks the spot. All right, then this piece, we're going to do the same thing. I can do it facing you now that I know I'm not going to goof it up. Put a piece of our scoring tape. I like to do that right in the middle so they have space above and below for the liquid glue. Now we have our page that's both going to flip up and open like a door. Put this piece right there. Make sure we're all lined up. All right. Okay. We're going to begin with our 6x6 paper that's printed like this. On the other side is the elephants. We're going to begin with this because it's going to take the longest to dry. So what we're going to do is, and you can use different things like buttons if you don't have these pulls. Most of these I get from Wish. I'm going to, whenever I use metal or plastic pieces, of course, I like to use the E6000. So my little door handle, and this I did get from Wish. I'm thinking I want to position it there, and I know I'm not doing this upside down because I don't want to goof. And then the lock piece here. And I need to leave room for the metal pieces around the outside. So maybe it's a good idea to do those first. And I like to put a little clip to hold them in place. And these all come from Wish, and I don't even know, there's more than a dozen that I get for $1. And it's usually $1 shipping as well. Every once in a while, they have a flat rate of $5 for shipping. And then I like to go through and see what I'm low on and just order a bunch at one time, because it's usually the shipping that when I shop on Wish, I don't know about you, but I've noticed that they don't always show you what the shipping cost is until it's in your cart. So I'll go through, and many companies will sell the same thing. I'll put them in my basket, and then at the end of my shopping, I'll return and check and see, make sure the numbers are right. You're not just getting one, you're getting several, and see which of the shipping is most reasonable, and then wipe off the ones that I don't want. But again, you don't have to go through all that if you happen to get one of the flat rate days. Okay, so the corner pieces are on, and that's going to help me be able to position my door handle and keyhole. And you might even put a little decorative key on the bottom of one of these. That would be cute as well. All right, we're doing this first because this will take the longest to dry. So basically, that is it for your outside page. And you won't need to put any magnets on that one, so you're good to go. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to start on the inside pages, okay? So for the inside page, we're going to do this one first that has the pocket over here. So for that, you're going to need one of your 6x6. It's orange on one side and has the pattern on the other. And for these pages, I am going to use ripe persimmon. It's like the fruit. And this is one of the Tim Holtz inks. And go around and ink the edges of my paper. And I'm going to go ahead and do the one next to it as well, so I don't forget. So we're just using a design of each on each side. One will have there is a slight design that's like this. It's kind of faded, like shadowy on this side. All right, so both of those are inked up. Now remember, for the pocket, you're using a 4.5 inch by 4.5 inch square of this same paper that we used on the front. And then what I did is I lined the corners up like this on my paper cutter and cut it in half. You can also lay a ruler there, draw a line and cut it with scissors, or just put it on your cutting mat and cut it with an X-Acto knife, whatever works for you. Okay, so when we put these pages together, they're going to close with a magnet. So what I like to do is, let's see. I am going to think about how this is going to close. So I know on this side, I'm going to have the magnet that I'm going to make, and that's going to go behind it. But I'm going to want another magnet on this page. So the best way to do that is you want the magnet to be as close to the surface as possible. So I wouldn't want to put it here, otherwise it'll have to go through this paper and everything that's in the pocket. So instead, I'm going to put it up high right here. So we'll use a little dab. And you know what? I think I want to ink that one too. I didn't do that yet. Put Put a little more ink. I try to keep 2 blades from my paper cutter. One I use on an older one I use on the very hard chipboard covers, and it wears my blade out, so then I switch it up for another blade to do the other type of, just paper cutting. But also, if the edges are too rough, again, I can use my sandpaper block if I'm not ready to switch that out yet. Okay, switch the blade out. So we're going to put a little dab. Let me double check. I want it towards the top. Okay, so facing you. One pocket is going to be on the right side and one pocket is going to be on the left side. Okay, so this is the one that's going to be on the opposite side here. So looking at you, it would be, it's going to make it upside down. Like this. Okay. A little dab of our E6000. And I'll show you the cool trick to this in a minute. All right, so we can go ahead and glue this pocket on. We're gonna leave the very top open. We're gonna put some wonderful liquid glue on the other 2 edges. And glue our pocket down. And the other magnet we are going to put right here, and that is going to remind us that we have to affix it to the other side. And I'll show you how we're going to do that in a minute. We're going to let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to locate our 2 circles and our 2 elephants. Again, I did put glossy accents on my elephants. So we're going to let this dry right here for a minute. So all I did for this one doesn't have to go through as many surfaces. So I didn't use one of my tall mouse ones for this, like the closing. These are better magnets. So for this one, we don't have to do that. So I'm going to just create 2 circles together. That's all we're doing. So in the middle, I'm going to put this little magnet. Little dot. I might forget to grab my baby wipe. I'll do that in just a second. Plop the magnet down. And a little extra glue on the outside. And I am going to put 2 clips on this because where the magnet is, it's a little puffed up. And for this circle, I did ink this circle as well. And for that one, I used the shaded lilac. And that's, again, one of Tim Holtz distressed inks. So right on the outside where the magnet is, I want to make sure it adheres well. So I'm going to put a clip on each side to help that happen. All right, I don't want to put my purple elephant on the purple because somehow I let my camera turn off. I'm so sorry. That's okay. We're going to go back and recap. So all that you missed is that I glued the two elephants onto the circles, and the magnet is, you saw me put the magnet back here. I clipped it down to make sure it dried nice and smooth. All right, so the other thing we need to do is we need to be sure that the magnet is placed properly on this paper so that it'll close right. So if you remember, we took our second magnet and plopped it over here, and that way we know that the north and south ends are together. We're going to put a piece of double-sided tape, our score tape, on it, rub it down, and then remove the top. Put the magnet back. Okay, and it's that easy. Once we close our paper and give it a little rub, that magnet is going to be exactly where we want it so that it closes the way we want it to. On the back of this paper, we took a clip, put our elephants up there, let another magnet drop on the back in the right place, exactly where we wanted it, and that one just got a piece of Scotch tape on it, okay? So then we have our score tape all around the outside. Give it a little rub. You want to make sure that you're placing it with the magnet on the top, not the bottom. So we want to make sure that this magnet is up here. There we go. And that is going to hold this closed. And then we're going to put our card here. And let's see, I want them to rather mirror each other. I don't want them to be exactly the same. We're going to put our little envelope, and I'm going to put these little flowers. I'm going to glue these little flowers right here on that top as I put one on the other side. So a little dot of glue, and remember I just cut these off of one of the larger cards. Hello, Sally Mae. Okay, and that will go in the pocket. You can put, well, whatever you want to put in the pocket. Also, I'm going to put one of the little tags that I punched out, and on top of him, he's going to get one of the elephants that I've hidden from myself. That usually only happens when my birdie flies up here. Okay, here we go. So on one of the tags, I'm going to put a purple, and on the other one, I'm going to put the orange. So we'll put it, oops, and that one will need glossy accents. Remember, I said when the paper's shiny or glittery, the glossy accents works wonderful. Once it's good and dry, it's adhered. Also, when I do this, I try to just put the glue on the top so that you could actually tuck a picture or a piece of journaling under where his feet are. So let me show you again. I just put it on the very top of whatever decorative piece I'm putting, so that under the legs or the bottom part, you can slide something. Okay, so those are drying. Those are also going to go in this pocket right here, okay? So while those are drying, we are going to create the inside. Very good. So for this part, you're going to use your 4 mats, your 2 mats that you cut out 6 by 6. And then on the opposite end, you're going to put the tags. And I should have Yeah, I should have put the ribbon on them already. Let me go ahead and do that off camera. I'll be right back. So in the interest of time, I went ahead and attached the ribbons on both of my tags. I adhered the paper down and of course used the opposite side for my photo mat tags on each of them. We have the two sayings, one for each page, better together. I'm going to just put glue. Oh, I also, yes, I also inked all of the edges. I didn't think you needed to watch me do that, but I didn't get it on this little saying yet, so we'll ink up those sides. I just think that it gives it a nicer finish. I don't like to see that white. All right, so we're just going to put a little liquid glue on each edge and then put it catty corner on the bottom. Of course, you could put it wherever you want to put it. But I'm going to put it right here. And then the little tag will slide in there. All right. Now we're going to attach the front page. So this one is a little heavier, so we're going to give it a little extra adhesive. So we're going to start with the double-sided scoring tape so that it will have some immediate hold. And this is also the way that I bind the black pages onto the book itself, because the black pages are going to be opened and closed, open and closed. So we want to make sure that they have plenty of adhesive. So when the black pages get put on the actual book, and I'll do one for you, I do both the tape and then E6000. I like it on the edges and then a little in the middle. When things are heavier like this with the all the wonderful metal pieces we used, we want to be sure we're giving it a chance. Good Lord. Well, I don't know how I managed that, but it is fixable, I hope. Yes. Somehow I still managed to get it backwards, but that's okay. Everything is fixable. We'll just reattach it down here, and I'll have to use my wonderful eraser to get that part off, but I'm going to make sure it's good and dry before I do that. There we go. All right, let's smooth down these edges. All right. So lastly, I'll show you while this piece dries. These are going to go here and here. So let me show you. It's basically the same thing. We're going to put down our scoring tape. And I don't put it right on the edge because I don't want the edges to come up, and that's why I make sure that there's a little E6000 on them. Once that dries, it is permanent. I've never had an issue, no matter how much the book is used, with them coming loose using that. I've tried it with other things. I've tried it with Gorilla Glue. I've tried it with Super Glue. And this E6000 is just, it's the best. All right, so here we go. our edges won't come up. Just want to be careful not to use too much. I don't even squeeze it. I just dab it. And I'll also put some in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and face the book towards me just to make sure I don't do any more crazy things. So, and I usually stand up for this so that I can see it well. Make sure it's going to close properly. There we go. Okay, so this side is on. It opens like this, and then it opens up like this. And the other side will do the same thing here, opening like this, and then opening like this. Wonderful. All right, thank you. And next time will be part 5. We'll be working on the next 2 pages. Please remember to leave me a comment. If you like what you see, then subscribe to my channel. Happy crafting.